Okay, this is Mr. Peterson, and we're on page 2 of the review. I'm doing problems 7 through 13 on this page. Okay, we got a laundry equation here. We're supposed to find the value of A. That'll be right in front here. Secondly, we're supposed to decide based on this whether it compresses or stretches, and any A value that's got a positive version that's bigger than 1, you're multiplying all these Y values times 3, which stretches it. So if you had a number less than 1 there, it would compress it. Okay, whose positive version is less than 1, I should say. Okay, the next thing we're supposed to do is describe whether it opens upwards or downwards. With a positive A value, it opens upwards. So you'd get the smiley face version of the parabola instead of the frowny face version. All right, the last thing here is what is the equation of the axis of symmetry of the parabola. And you're going to find the h value, in this case 4, and you simply say x equals 4. In other words, you make a vertical line through that vertex. So this will always be the h value, and you have to have the x equals to get the full credit. Okay, problem 8. Let's look this over. Here's the equation. So part A, you're supposed to find out what A is, and that'll be this front number. Does it compress it or vertically stretch it? Well, the positive version here of negative 2/3 would be 2/3, that's less than 1, so it compresses it. Then it's, does it open upwards or downwards? Smiley face or frowny face? Negative turns it downwards. And finally, the axis of symmetry, we have an h value of -8 here, so you just set it up as x equals -8. Remember that the axis of symmetry is a vertical line, so the x equals part of it is a necessary part of that formula. If you leave it off and just write -8, you'll be marked off. Okay, so for the next one here, you're supposed to find the values of A, H, and K, and then write the equation of the axis of symmetry. So I'm going to uncover all this and explain it. So here's your equation, and to find H, actually to find A, you just inspect it. It's the front number. Just like up here, that was the front number. Okay, A is always easy to find. H has a little formula. You take the B value, 6 in this case, and divide it by -2 times the A value. So you can see I put that -2 in behind it for A. And that gives 3/2. All right, the next part is find K, and just like any other Y value, you're going to plug the x value in, so this is actually an x value at the vertex. Plug in 3/2 into the formula, and if you do all the number crunching, you get -13.5. So let me show you 2 different ways to get that done. You can actually type it, so it's a little bit of a pain to do this correctly. So there's the front part of it, plus 6 times 3/2 again. And then -18, you'll see that I get that -13.5. I actually find it easier to store this value, and when I store that value, it lets me then just type the original equation here, -2x squared plus 6x minus 18, and you can see I get that -13.5. And then the axis of symmetry almost looks like this part here. You just say x equals the h value. Okay, so we'll pick up here in a second on problem 10. Okay, on number 10 and 11, what we're supposed to do is write the vertex, take the vertex form that's given to us and convert it into standard form. And all that is foiling out the expression. So you can see where it said squared there, x squared, or x plus 3 squared. I wrote it out twice. And then let me show you how I got all these numbers down here. First times first is x squared. That's 3x. There's another one there, 3x. That's outside and inside. And last times last is the plus 9. I distributed the 2 all the way down here, so that made it 2x squared, 6x, 6x, and 18. and then I collected my like terms. The same thing happens over here. Let me take you through that one. I've got a 1/3 times x minus 3 squared. You want to be careful not to distribute underneath the squaring. I didn't do that over here either. You've got to square first. Squaring is higher priority. So multiply it out, and you FOIL it. You can see the minus 3x and the minus 3x, and negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. I multiplied all of those by 1/3 and then added my like terms to get the final result. Now let me show you how you can check this answer. Okay, you can check it in two ways. One way is to check it on the home screen, and that's by typing a random number. I'm going to choose 1.23 and store that random number as x. The stored key is right here if you don't know where that is. And then once you've done that, you can type the original expression and the final expression. They should agree numerically. So here we go. Parenthesis 1 divided by 3, that's your 1/3. And then x minus 3 all squared. The squared button is over here. Plus 10. And that's the answer I get when I type that one. We should get the same answer down here. X squared minus 2x and then plus 13, and we get the same answer both times, so we know you've got it. The other way to tell is to graph both of them. So you'll see me do that really quickly here. I'm going to put in the original. Plus 10, so there's the original up top there. And now I'm going to put the other one in. 1/3 x squared minus 2x plus 13, and you want to come all the way over to the left margin on this thing and hit enter to turn that on bold Sharpie mode. So now when I hit graph, I'm going to see if everything's good. I'm going to see the same graph twice. The second time it's going to go bold on me. So zoom 6 and watch what happens. I know what's happened here. The the vertex is up at 10, so I got to change my window. Hang on, let me go higher. Let me go 20 there, and you'll see it this time. Okay, so here comes the first round, and it should trace the same path in bold. There you go. Okay, so those answers have been confirmed. The last section here is actually pretty easy to do. They want to know what the maximum height or minimum height is, and you have to decide which. So what we have here in the first one is an upside down parabola. You can see the negative sign, so I drew an upside down parabola. And then we have the h and the k at the vertex, and the one that measures height is the k. So this 62 is the highest it gets, maximum height. You apply the same logic on this one. Positive number up front is the smiley face version. So the vertex is at -6, -18. The height is always the k value, not the h value. That goes sideways. This goes up and down. So this -18 is the lowest part of the parabola, the minimum height. And that does it for problems numbers 7 through 13.